You see the headlines everywhere, right? AI-related layoffs, whole industries on the verge of being upended. And everyone's asking, what is this disruption actually going to look like for white-collar jobs? Well, let's dive into that. We're going to use the consulting industry as a perfect, real-world case study for how this massive shift is really going to play out.
Man, you can't escape the drumbeat of doom. It started getting really loud this year with headlines just like this one from Fast Company. The message was crystal clear. Your job is on the line.
And then, of course, The Economist jumped in, asking a pretty pointed question about the biggest players in the game. They even pointed out that the market had already wiped billions off their value. You could really feel the sense of crisis building.
And then, bam, the Wall Street Journal comes in with what feels like the knockout punch, calling the threat existential. I mean, the logic seems simple, right? If an AI can analyze all the data and whip up a slick PowerPoint in seconds, what's even left for the biggest, most expensive names in the business to do? So, all of this really funnels down into one very direct question. Is this the end of the road? Is it game over? Well, the reality, as it turns out, is a whole lot more nuanced and, frankly, a lot more interesting than a simple yes or no. You've probably heard this phrase before, a Kodak moment. It's become shorthand for a massive, successful company that just completely misses a technological shift and, poof, vanishes. So is that what's really happening here? Okay, so the core logic behind all the panic is actually pretty solid. For decades, companies have paid consultants huge sums of money for two main things: access to really scarce expertise and really scarce information. But AI comes along and just flips the entire table over. It makes both of those things incredibly abundant and super cheap. And look, if that's all consulting was, they'd be toast. But it's not. This means we have to dig a little deeper and redefine what clients are actually paying for when they hire one of these big firms. Because let me tell you, it's about way more than just the data or a fancy report.
Now, this slide is where it gets really fascinating. On the left, you've got the old stuff, the bread and butter that AI is turning into a commodity, fast. But look at the right side. This is the enduring value. This is the human stuff, the deep, baked-in trust in a brand like McKinsey. It's the cloud cover an executive gets when they have to make a risky bet-the-company decision. And, let's be honest, it's having someone to blame if it all goes wrong. You know the old saying, nobody ever got fired for hiring IBM? Well, the same goes for consulting, and an AI can't replace that.
So this is the absolute crucial point. In a world that's getting scarier and more complex because of transformations like AI, that brand assurance, that trust, it actually becomes more valuable, not less. Clients aren't just buying a PowerPoint, they're buying confidence. Okay, so if it's not a total extinction event, what does this disruption actually look like on the ground? Well, this is where we really see AI for what it is, a true double-edged sword. And this table just lays that out so perfectly. For every single pressure or threat, there's a powerful new opportunity popping up. So yeah, customers are going to demand lower prices, but at the same time, AI unlocks brand new high-value services. Sure, some old work is going to disappear, but entirely new business lines, like, AI transformation consulting itself, are being born right now. And believe me, those price pressures are very real. There's a story going around about a major professional services firm that was told by their biggest client, point blank, next year, we want the exact same stuff you're giving us now, but we're paying half the price. That conversation is happening in boardrooms everywhere. But then, on the complete flip side, AI makes things that were pure fantasy just a few years ago totally possible. Just think about this. The idea of interviewing every single employee in a huge corporation, it was impossible. Way too slow, way too expensive. Now, with AI agents, you can get that deep, company-wide context at scale in a single day. That's not just making something faster, that's a fundamentally new capability. So given all these powerful forces of change, who's actually set to win here? Who's at risk? And where are the real opportunities? Because the entire competitive landscape is being redrawn as we speak. It really looks like we're seeing four key groups emerge from the chaos. You've got your legacy giants, right? Then there's this long tail of smaller, more generalist firms. You've got these hyper-specialized niche players. And then there's a whole new breed of AI-native challenger firms just bursting onto the scene. And you get this classic tug of war. The legacy firms, the incumbents, their biggest advantage is that trust we talked about. It's gold. But these new AI-native challengers, they have the talent. They're staffed top to bottom with people who live and breathe this tech, which often makes them way better at the actual nitty-gritty tech delivery and integration. So, where's the most dangerous place to be in this new world? It's right here, stuck in the middle. If you're a generalist firm in that long tail without a huge legacy brand or a deep defensible niche, you are incredibly vulnerable. Hyperspecialization isn't just a good idea anymore. It's the key to survival. Okay, this all brings us to the final and most crucial question. How do you actually navigate all this? If this is the new reality, what's the game plan for not just surviving, but actually coming out on top? Here it is, a 6-part roadmap. First, you have to find your niche and just own it. Second, lean into the trust you've already built. Double down on it. Third, you've got to AI yourself. Adopt this stuff internally so you can stay ahead of your own clients. Fourth, expect those cost reductions and redesign your business model now because lower prices are coming. Fifth, relentlessly hunt for those brand new business lines. And finally, number 6, and I love this one, weaponize humility. Know that smaller, nimbler players will be faster and better than you at some things. And then use your cash to go out and acquire them.
So the ultimate takeaway here is that all those dramatic headlines are kind of missing the point. This isn't an extinction event. It's an evolution. But it's an evolution that is happening faster and more profoundly than anyone really expected. And it's going to put an absolutely massive premium on the people and companies that can learn the fastest and adapt on the fly. We have just walked through how this incredible disruption is reshaping one huge industry. But the patterns we're seeing here, the shift in what's valuable, the crazy new capabilities, the redrawn battle lines, those are going to echo everywhere in every industry. So the real question, the one I want to leave you with, is what will your story be?